Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining my session. My name is Arome Ibrahim. I'm a Metaverse business analyst from Nigeria. I'm currently working with Fectar, the Metaverse creator platform for AR VR, and I'm here to share with you all how we can unleash the potential of the Metaverse for education. So this session will be very, very brief, but will be packed with a lot of insights and a lot of details to share with you all how the metaverse is currently enabling educators and students to understand basically what is being taught in and also outside the classroom. And these are what we'll be talking about. The first one will be what is the metaverse, what are the current elements of the metaverse, and some use cases, what are the benefits of the metaverse for education, both for students and educators, and also how Fectar enables access to the metaverse in education. And finally, I'll be wrapping up with my final thoughts and conclusion on the topic on how the metaverse can basically transform the way we learn and also how the educators can transform learning in the classroom. A little bit about me. So basically, my journey into XR started way back like 4 years ago, and it has been filled with a lot of experiences. And so far, I've been able to carve a niche for myself, becoming a product manager and also a business analyst with key specialization in the metaverse, XR, and innovation. I'm also passionate about entrepreneurship, ecosystem development. So currently, I'm the metaverse business strategist for Africa at Fectar, which is the metaverse creator platform for AR/VR with over 6 million downloads worldwide. I'm passionate about the tech also, which made me to found a nonprofit called Immersive Tech Africa, which is dedicated to democratizing and increasing access to XR technology through education, research, and also fostering an inclusive community, not just on the continent, but also across the world. So I remember my little brother asking me, I remember what is the metaverse, right? And basically, the metaverse is more like a platform that provides digital experiences or alternative replica of a real world, computer generated as a virtual space, and has several human interactions like enablement for currency, trade, economy, and also property ownership. Right. So imagine the metaverse as a virtual replica of our real world, whereby we can also do the current human interaction we currently do in the real world in a virtual space, right? So currently, the metaverse allows for infinite number of people to connect without limitation based on geography, based on location, and also gives them the ability to impute or bring in three-dimensional objects that they have created or own into the space, and also can get 100% ownership of those physical or virtual assets. So you might be asking me what are basically the elements of the metaverse, right? So according to Matthew Ball in his book, The Metaverse and How We Would Revolutionize Everything, he gave some key points on some key elements of the metaverse. And the first one is basically composed of virtual worlds. So you have different virtual spaces that are computer generated. Users can transform from one space to another using any device, right? So the goal of the metaverse is to create the ability for users not to be limited by one location, be able to transform from one particular space to another. And also, the virtual world gives the ability for three-dimensional capabilities, right? You have access to import contents that are 3D generated. You could also create content in the metaverse using 3D. And the third point is real-time rendering, right? So virtual worlds can respond to input from users in real time, right? So if you make a move, you teleport, it is real time, and those users that are also with you in that space can also see the movement you also do. The fourth point is it is massively scaled. So the goal of the metaverse is to be a large space, right? Not limited, like I said, by geography or any physical boundaries, but a virtual space that is expanded with that beyond any reach, right? And it's also very, very diverse. And the last point is interoperable network, whereby standard protocols between various platforms that allow users to carry personal information from one virtual world to another, right? So I can go from point A to point B, right? Still maintaining my assets, my NFTs, my 3D assets from that point A to that point B, right? So it's more like the real world where you're not limited by taking your vehicle from one country to another or taking your luggage when you travel from one country to another, right? In the metaverse, it's more like a virtual space where you can do anything you want to do that you currently do in the real world in a virtual environment. So, in terms of use cases, right, we have seen like some huge adoption of the metaverse, not just by small companies, but also very large corporations. And some very good metaverse use cases, for example, is Roblox. So, Roblox is more like a virtual universe that lets you create, share with friends anything you can imagine, right? You can create anything in that space, connect with anybody, anywhere, right, in a single platform, right? So one of the things I like with Roblox is the ability to customize what you have created to your own needs, right, and also able to share that content or that assets with any user on the platform. Also, another platform that is related to the metaverse, right, is called the Meta Horizon Worlds. It's more like a social experience whereby you can play, explore, and create. So for Horizon World, right, you also have the ability to create your own virtual space in the metaverse, customized to your needs, and also be able to import 3D assets and 3D models that you have created in your real world into the virtual environment, right? So this environment basically function on the goal of connecting people together without limitation or boundaries. The third and fourth use cases are Fortnite and Decentraland. I know a lot of users watching this stream will basically be part of one of these platforms. But for Fortnite, is more like a multiplayer platform whereby users can compete in gaming scenarios, create virtual lands, and also have go on quest to basically save some users in that space. Right? And for the Decentraland, is more like a 3D virtual world on the browser whereby users can buy virtual lands, carry on interactions in NFTs, and also own ownerships of some content and assets within that space. I'll be moving on to the benefits of the metaverse in education. For me, the metaverse is not just a platform, but it's also a medium for us to transform the way students learn and also the way teachers can teach better in the classroom. And the first point I'll be sharing is how, more like some statistics and research on how virtual reality based learning has been proven to increase student retention by 100% and also help students to improve their results by 30%. And also, according to research, information presented in VR has a retention rate of 75% compared to 10% if the same info was not read, right? So students can learn better if those content are transformed into virtual reality experiences, and also educators can teach better implementing VR experiences into their curriculum. Also, over 50% of teachers want to incorporate VR and AR teaching into their classroom, right? These are more opinions and feedbacks from educators which have backed some of these experiences and research. In terms of augmented reality, which is more like augmenting your physical environment, right? So AR-based learning leads to higher test scores and better learning comprehension, which is according to a report by Elliot Mercy, right? According to our report, it states that students who learn materials using AR score 30 to 45% higher on tests than students who learn using traditional learning materials and curriculum, right? So educators watching this stream need to find out how they can augment some of their current curriculum and models into 3D. For example, maybe a student is learning about the human heart, right? So transforming a diagram of a human heart into a 3D model that can be shared in the classroom using augmented reality can really transform the way students learn. I'll be moving on to our amazing platform called Fectar. So Fectar is more like a metaverse creator platform for businesses, individuals, educators to create no-code, augmented, and virtual reality experience with ease. One unique feature about the Fectar Studio is that you can use it on any device. You're not limited to a single device like a VR headset. You could use it on your Pico headset, your mobile device, your web, and also the Microsoft HoloLens. Right. In terms of education, the Fectar platforms allows educators and students to learn lessons in AR and VR, which can basically help them augment the way they currently learn in the classroom. Also, students can easily adopt these new methods of immersive learning fully, right? Using their mobile devices, they could use the devices of their parents and also see how they can have better interactions, better engagements, peer-to-peer learning using innovative technology. So this is an example of how Fectar works, right? So you have a 3D model which you import into the platform, right? And you have it on the studio where you can customize it and design it based on your needs. And that 3D model can now be shared via a QR code or via a link to anybody or any student, and they can just click on it and download the Fectar app and have that experience within their own environment. And one unique thing of Fectar is that you're not limited to any device, like I said. You could use any device, you could use a VR headset, you could use your mobile phone. And the goal of the platform is to increase access to the metaverse for users that don't have high-end devices or high-end system to use. So if you're on your mobile device, you could just pause this video if you can, or take a screenshot, right, and just scan this QR code to take it directly to a human anatomy experience in the Fectar app. And you can also scan it. You can also display it in your own environment and see how amazing the tool is. So for this example, students and educators can have a good interaction of how the human anatomy works. Students can have like a detailed experience of the human heart, the brains, the circulatory system, which they usually see on textbooks and notebooks. But now they can see it in their own environment, and trust me, education will basically be transformed by that process. So, in terms of final thoughts on the metaverse and education, for me, growing up and learning via traditional methods was quite cumbersome because most of us did not have like real life experiences of what we were being taught, right? And for those in the technical space, having the ability to learn using textbooks and diagrams was not fully immersive as having 3D models and 3D assets supporting learning, right? So my thought basically is with the metaverse supporting education, um, learning will basically be accessible to anyone, anywhere, at any time. The metaverse will also make education more accessible to students who are unable to attend traditional schools due to financial, geography, or other constraints. So all they just need to do is just download the app or download the experience and engage with it in their own environment. Also, in terms of collaboration and social learning, the metaverse will facilitate collaborative and social learning, allowing students to work together peer to peer and participate in group discussion and share what they have learned from that particular AR or VR interaction. And finally, immersive and interactive learning environments. With the metaverse, you can create engaging and immersive learning environments that students can understand and can relate to, and give you very constructive feedback and help them improve their overall grades in that particular subject matter. So these are more like my thoughts on how the metaverse can really transform education and learning. So thank you so much for listening. I know it's a very, very quick one, but my final feedback is the metaverse is here. The metaverse is here to stay. We just need to find a way to plug it into our current experiences, current learning processes, or sharing engagement. And trust me, transformation and learning is here to stay, right? And the metaverse will basically fuel the next generation of content developers and immersive experience generators. Thank you so much for listening. You can connect with me via email at ibrahimarome@gmail.com or via Twitter at Arome Ibrahim underscore, or also via LinkedIn at Arome Ibrahim. We're glad to connect with you and also share any feedback or insights you may have on my session. Thank you so much.